check your ass out. I'm gonna check you out. When I get through, when you be right there on the side, right over there, with your mouth open. Be right. Come right in the motherfucker, just come. I'm gonna put some of your mom on choking shit out your ass. You'll be coughing for 2 weeks, fuck with me.
What's he talking about? The woman in the front row?
Try to kill me.
Her vagine hang like sleeve of wizard.
If I let you see it, it's gonna scare the shit out of you. If I unzipped it and just that you took a peek, you go blind.
Guys, that's the old Bernie Mac. Missed that guy, man.
Yeah, he was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
man.
amazing, man.
He's picking on the girl in the front row with the mouth
she was
wide
all
open.
into it too. She was all God.
All he could see was some meat being hidden away, bros.
That's awesome.
Great comedian.
So, Fives of the Week, episode 108. This is obviously the season finale. So, first and foremost, want to thank everybody that's been with us, all our guests, all our fans,
everybody.
Yes.
Everybody that's been along with us for the ride, and people that have hopped on this year. It's been a good year. As far as listeners, we're up 161%.
It's awesome.
Plus 125 streams, plus 59% followers, and we've created 9% more content. So
awesome.
Yes.
Everything's looking up, which is a great, great thing. And we are in 15 plus countries now.
Good.
And, shout out to Al at 24th Street Pizza. Thank you for holding us down.
Thank you, Al.
Yeah, man, we're looking at the growth, and it's just amazing that people are getting on board and supporting us. And
how many countries last year?
Can't thank you enough. I think we were around like 12.
Okay.
So I think it's like 18 now.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
We keep going up. You know what I mean? That's an amazing thing.
Different reaches. Lots running into it. A lot of it's word to mouth. And, top 5 episodes right now are stress relievers, deal breakers with Ange and Sue. So shout out to you, ladies.
Yes, ladies. That was great.
Sports Mount Rushmore, dealing with loss, which was obviously a tough emotional episode.
Yeah.
That everybody did a great job on. And then female traits, where C Rebel, he left before the Fives of the Week because he didn't want to talk about it. So, but shout out to him. He's been a great guest for
C
us.
Rebel, damn you.
Everybody else that's been on, Big T, Chi. Leah was on this year. Nick, everybody that came to the party, amazing job. So,
everybody, guys, everybody.
Yeah, I hope I'm not, forgetting much. But and Ashley, I know B, you were on the trip, but that Super Bowl show that we did was the top episode of last year. So shout out to her.
She was very good too, man.
Yeah, she really pushed it for us.
Yeah,
so that was awesome.
Hopefully she's still listening. Did she listen to the show? Or
yeah, we talked. She's going to hop back on top of the year.
That's cool.
I was busting C Rebel's ass because he only listens to the episodes he's on, because I'll quiz him on previous episodes because he'll say, well, what if I talk about this? And then I'm like, you didn't listen to episode 102? Oh, you guys already talked about it? So I'm calling him out on some of this shit. And we've got followers, but we need more listeners, because listening to the podcast, and I think, Hollywood, you mentioned this, that it's not always how the show will start. It's always an in-between thing. So just remember, if you're not really into what we're talking about, the beautiful part about having a smartphone or anything else, you could forward to and just you'll fall into a different segment.
Yeah, exactly.
And you might just be surprised. You might end up in a bed of roses of laughter and just kind of going, wow, man, this is not what I expect, because we may be starting off with the sports talk or vice versa. We're talking some real serious local stuff and then world news. But somewhere in between there, the freaking crazy begins. And that's really why you got to stick with the whole show.
Yeah, and if it doesn't interest you, you have the chance to come out and go to another episode.
Yeah. And Rando, we got 100 plus out there now, so there's plenty of material to listen to. I mean, it's kind of, and there's people that do this for a living daily. They run 5 shows a week. It's hard to constantly come up with. But then I find that these ones that are doing the weekly shows, it's almost repetitive, redundant. It's kind of getting to the same thing everybody sees every day. So we just kind of take that whole week and try to smash it all into something special to make sort of a best of show.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what we
because some
do.
people can't. They're like, man, you guys work too? Like, yeah, we got a job. Even my boys at work, And I tell them, they're like, oh, dude, it's crazy, man. You guys are nuts. I'm like, and they love that Lions part. They love when we get in deep with the sports, because they're sports guys. Yeah. And they bet and, all that stuff like that. So, reach out to them. Great job. Keep listening, guys. You know what I mean? And bring up suggestions. You know what I'm saying? If there's something you guys want to talk about and, what's to bring up, let us know, please.
Yeah, any criticism or feedback is good, because we're still building.
Yeah.
And if you're not coachable and not willing to learn, I mean, what are you doing, right? You have to constantly evolve and get better and better.
Building blocks, man. We're building blocks.
That's definitely our goal. So,
that's awesome.
Thank you. We can go around to your takeaways from 2023.
Okay. You want me to lead?
Yeah, lead it off, Hollywood.
All right, we got some takeaways here real quick. I'm going to be real brief. As we all know, we had the big UAW strike, 6-week strike that we got settled. There's still some things being worked out as we speak. It's a long process when we come to a strike and then we get back to work. And fortunately, I still was working. I had brothers and sisters out there that weren't working. But it's a long overhaul before everything starts kicking in. People think it's right immediately, and it goes over a span. So we're in that process, and plus, with models and going through transition. So thank God that everyone's back to work, and hopefully we can move forward. Everyone's happy, and be thankful for what we have. Another note was an episode of 23 that ended was not sure if a lot of people seen this. Well, it was caught to me as the Mayans. It's a biker club. And I really enjoyed that. And it came to an end. And it was so good to the very end. A lot of people wouldn't believe how it ended. And it's heart-touching, when it comes to family. You see just it was a spin-off of Sons of Anarchy for a lot of people seen it. A very good thing. And just tells you about the club and stuff like that. And it was pretty good.
Did he just say club?
Club. That was the club. We also lost many people that were celebrities, big celebrities, and I'll go over a list of just a quick couple. We lost Tina Turner, a wonderful woman, great singer, 84 years old. She died in 23. We lost the beloved Elvis Presley's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, at 55 years old. Another big icon of the
Absolutely,
team.
yeah.
So them are my bits of what I got, and I know there's a lot more to add to that, so that's what I got for mine.
Nice. So, yeah, these are more a little bit on a personal level, but, a bounce-back year in 23. Just very thankful for the opportunities that arose. Thankful for the podcast and you guys hopping on and still believing in this thing. I think that's important. Can't do it all by myself, so shout out to you guys and everybody that's helped us out.
Yes.
Definitely a bounce-back year compared to 22. Obviously, the trials and tribulations with the family, and just thankful for, good health. And everybody's on the up and up, so that's important. Good to see the family doing well. And keeping an open mind and open heart. There's a time where I was like, man, I don't know, am I going to find anybody? So,
I'll say it, man.
You know what I'll say it, man. So it's good to know that there's people out there that, really, really care about you. So shout out to you, baby girl.
That's it.
And,
good job.
Yeah, other than that, man, just thankful for, it's like a soul for a soul, right? We got good Lions football, but we got a terrible Pistons basketball, and everything else is pretty bad. But Red Wings are kind of so-so. But
they're the Pistoles now.
We're big sports city, man. I'm willing to put us up there with anybody.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Michigan football, we got to get into that later. It's just been a really good year for sports.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, man, 23 was it was hectic, but a really good year.
Yeah,
so
and look at your Wings too. They're up on the upbeat, with the signings and everything. So Detroit's starting to happen
for sure. Detroit's happening, man.
Yeah, no, I'm going to just piggyback off what you guys said. Just talk about how exciting for the first time in 30 years. We're all wearing our Lions blue here today.
Yes, go blue.
I have not seen this much excitement. I mean, even when the Red Wings were kind of peaked and they were doing everything great, I just think the hockey fan base is a little different than the NFL fan base. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a niche type group of people. I mean, when they're winning, everybody's a fan. But,
sure.
I mean, there have been people that have been just waiting and waiting and waiting for something good to happen with our football team. So, I mean, that's kind of like one of those year in review things. You're going to look back and you're going to remember this year, for a lot of good things and maybe not so good things. But I think it really brings a lot of energy back into people. Hell, on my way over here this morning, I mean, I'm wearing the Lions jacket, and I pulled up next to a dude in a big old Ram truck, and he's got his, he gave me the old he had his hat on too, Lions hat. So I mean, these are just complete strangers in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
and they're feeling it. They're feeling it, man.
I just did that at Speedway 2 days ago, or the day of the Lions game when we played Minnesota. When I had my jacket on, he had I think it was a Calvin jersey. I was like, Lions, baby, gave him a high five. Didn't know the guy from fucking Hole in the Wall, but you know what I'm saying? It just brings great excitement, and people are feeling it. And it's like we talk about, it's a great Monday morning when you go to work. And
it doesn't that set the tone? Doesn't that set the tone of your Monday morning?
Yeah.
Absolutely. For how many years have we gone into work pissed off on a Monday, not just because it's work Monday,
you don't even want to
it's
talk
because
to
you just watched the freaking Lions, almost win a game and give it to somebody on a stupid play and how many times have we been on that side of that? And then here we are. It feels good to have.
You see the attitude,
11 wins,
change, right? The down, they can really take you down.
Yeah,
and you're like, what's wrong? You see that stuff, man? And then, oh man, you like that? It's what it does to you.
Yeah, there's something about sports and what it does to bring people together. Another thing. Are we just going through random year in review?
Yeah, so
I thought this past summer was one of the shittiest summers we've had in a long time. I was talking about this episode with my wife this morning, and I go, what are some of the highlights you kind of think back on this year and what you thought was kind of like good or bad? She goes, well, for one, we didn't really have a good summer. And we really didn't, for all, it seemed like the smoky air, we talked about this, it just seemed like a really weird summer. It rained a lot on the weekends, and that's kind of when everybody has time to do stuff.
And I had no summer because I was locked down.
You were working, you
that
were
sucked,
in
man.
it, you gave away your whole summer, and, we got that 3-month window. I say usually it's, that May, June, July, and then August, you're kind of dog days of summer, and then you're already midway, and it goes away, and it's such a fast season, but I felt like she was right on that one. I'm like, yeah, that summer was kind of weird.
No, you're right, because for me, August is football ramps up, so it's like my schedule's jam-packed.
Your summer ends, right? I mean, the summer technically doesn't, but your summer for what you want to do is, if you're going to plan a trip, it's like, well, I can't because I got a coach now. So now that kind of puts a, cock block on what you're trying to accomplish for the rest of the summer. But yeah, I would say that the two wars that are going on, unfortunately, with, Ukraine and Russia, that was kind of some highlight news. Then, of course, the Gaza and the Israel thing going on. There's a lot of, unjust, a lot of crazy going on in our world.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
it struck again yesterday.
Yes, and it's.
Big time.
I don't see it ending anytime soon. Biden ended up giving Ukraine another $250 million. Now, what's your guys' thoughts on this? Like, you got this guy coming over. He didn't want to be part of NATO. Understand what NATO is, a conglomeration of all the countries saying we'll fight as one if need be. We're all on one page. Originally, Ukraine they didn't want anything to do with NATO. And Zelensky wanted nothing to do with it. But all of a sudden, he's got the handout again. They're flying him over here, and he's taking another $250 million to go back over there and fight a war. What's your guys' thoughts on just keep on funding these other countries? In the meantime, we got veterans on the street that don't have a place to go. We have homeless people. We got all these immigrants being dropped off and bust out, and so there's a lot of crazy that's happened this year. Besides the good, what's your guys' thoughts on a couple of those?
You go, Mike. You go first.
Yeah, I don't know much about the wars. I really haven't been following it, That's just being honest. But as far as giving funds to other countries and things like that, I'm always going to fall on the sword that we need to take care of home first. I think you got to take care of your veterans, your people that are here that pay taxes, the people that make the country go round. And listen, the immigration thing, America wouldn't be what it is without all different ethnicities being here, but you got to do it the right way, right?
Yes,
and
I
you
agree.
can't just open the floodgates. So with that being said, I think it is the place where dreams do come true and people want to be here. But again, it creates a lot of tension and bad situations too, and too many are here illegally. So yeah, it's tough. I can't really touch on that. But as far as just handing out handouts to other countries, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I think if you talk about, and Hollywood, I'll let you go in a second, just touching on what Philly said here. And if you think about how people came here, say our great-grandparents, most of them came from Ellis Island. They came into New York. They were accepted to come in at a certain amount. But I think in today's modern world, they're just flooding in everywhere. And I think that's a problem. I really do. I think there's got to be some justice with that. And, with the 2024 on the horizon, we have an election year coming up. I think we're going to see a lot of crazy happen. I'm concerned because of all these extremists and things of sorts out there with these wars going on again in the Middle East. You know, they're talking about Times Square getting ready for, you know, the big celebration here in a day. Hopefully nothing goes down. So they've had to up, you know, special forces. They had to up more police.
That's sad.
Security. And they do it anyways because that's a big event and any goofball can do something stupid. So they got eyes in the skies everywhere. And they were showing this on the world news, and they can't show you everything, but you know, we're talking snipers up in the buildings and
they
stuff.
They even got drones flying around.
Drones
this is
flying
for what,
around.
I'm sorry?
For the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square.
Gotcha.
You're talking almost 1 million people in one block. So it's packed, right? Yeah. So if there's some jack-off that wants to do something stupid because of, you know, for whatever reason, we're just in a different situation. And all these different people that are, you know, coming into the country and stuff like that. Look, I'm all about, you know, giving everyone that opportunity. I'm not on a political grandstand here, but there's going to be a lot more that we're going to have to do more as a country. I hope for 2024 we see that flip. There's a lot of good, a lot of excitement locally here, but there's a lot of problems going on in our world right now, fellas, and I think that's just one of those things we have to really start to realize that we have to start to make those changes, you know, somewhere and somehow. But really, I mean, that wasn't to be a downer. You know, that's really, I mean, we could keep going around the table, guys. I know something will come to each of our minds here about 2023. And again, Mike, you mentioned something about the podcast. I just want to say my 2 cents on that. Thank you to everybody. That was such a big deal. We basically doubled everything we did a year ago. And we only are going to get better. Trust us, because we got Al back on board as a sponsor for 2024. He committed to me. I feel like Nick Saban. He committed to me. I feel like
thank you, Alan.
I feel like
Wow.
I feel like Dion. I went in there.
You come with a heavy hand.
I wowed him.
He's on a contract.
I wowed him. I gave him some flashy chains. He says, "Yeah, I'm in, man." So I recruited him back. So we got Al coming back to help us out with some more funding. Bigger and better things are coming for the Fives of the Week podcast. Count on it.
Ain't no doubt.
Yeah, and you know, other businesses out there, feel free to jump in. I mean,
yeah, and it's a two-way street. So if anybody wants to, you know, help us out, we'll help you out, promote your business. We're going to have some sponsorship packages out there. So anything, we're open to anything. Looking to help out. That's part of the reason we do this too, is, you know, to help promote small businesses and collaborate. You know, anybody wants to get on the show, email us at fivesoftheweekpodcast@gmail.com. B does a great job with the Facebook page. You can get with me on TikTok and Instagram, and, you know, let's collab and do some business.
Yeah, I mean, man, feel free. Whatever you give, don't feel like, oh, I got to either give. I'm not going to do that. Whatever you can handle. I mean, whatever, we'll take it. But my take on that, me personally, you take them out. You take Rush out. And if you're going to sit there and assist and keep assisting $250 million every single time, you might as well just get in the war. And then you tell Zelensky, listen, you will be part of the NATO. You have no choice, or we cut the money ties because it's innocent people are dying. So we're not going to be no threat. You come back and be number one again. And you know, if China, you want to start getting scrappy, let's go. Wipe you off the face of the earth.
China.
We're not playing. You know what I mean? You got to show that resilient, that we are number one, because going into 24 with all we're going, like you were saying, we have to be very careful because there could be some shit on the horizon. And we just have to be smart. You know what I mean? Because there's points that we look vulnerable, and we can't allow them to attack us like that and look weak.
Right. So,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my take on that.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that statement I gave was not meant to be a political stand.
Yeah, no.
Stretch. We're talking year in review. And besides personally and how we're doing and what the podcast
it's been
is
going
doing,
too long.
There's a lot going on out there, good and bad, and sometimes, you know, you got to have the good with the bad to make that conversation, you know. So,
and, you know, rest in peace to these terrible school shooting victims this year, like Alabama. I believe there's another big one. Obviously, can't forget about Uncle Ed, who did the banner for us.
Yes,
love and miss you, man. Rest in peace,
Eddie.
It's, you know, a lot of celebrities, like you mentioned. You know, it's every year. It just seems like as we get older, you know, we lose moguls and people we love, and you know, you got to pay homage to them and live on in their memory, and you can continue to mention them. You know,
friends, families that, you know, there's a lot of, you know, lost this year. We remember them, you know, angels now and stuff like that, and we move forward to heal as humans. But you guys are absolutely right. You know, we're thankful for our listeners and everything like that, and we give back to you as our podcast, and we appreciate all you that give to us.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of more like buzzworthy stuff that happened in 23.
I mean, there's that's what I'm trying to look up. I mean, we're obviously not going to get everything, but there's a lot of stuff, like Hollywood mentioned the celebrity deaths. I mean, that's something you're going to have to deal with on a yearly.
Yeah. You got the other one. I think they're more going into sports.
I mean, in this, sports. Think about if you're a Cleveland Brown fan. I mean, look how excited that town has to be for something big news for them in 2023.
Or you could be a Jets fan.
Or you could be a Jets fan, and you're definitely struggling.
Yeah.
What about this one? Thousands of syringes containing vaginal tightening gel seized at MSP Airport.
Oh, God.
You guys hear about that?
Vaginal tightening.
Wow,
2,536 pre-filled syringes.
That's pretty crazy. I thought they had tight security over there, Brad.
She went
Extra
from
tight.
8 centimeters to 1.2 centimeters.
Who's going to come forward and say, I tried it?
That's right.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot that could be doing that.
Vagine. Smell like fish.
Well, we had, if you don't mind, Phil, like Kevin McCarthy. I remember the first time ever in history, the House Speaker was eliminated from me. He was nominated and booted out. First time in history there.
Welcome.
These train derailments. Remember, we had a ton of trains. At the beginning of the year, it was like, man, what's going on with all these trains derailing? And stuff like that.
Bad thing is they're not running a train.
Right. The spy balloon.
Yeah.
Remember the Chinese spy balloon they shot down? Alex Murdoch was sentenced to life in prison for killing his wife and kid, and just a lot of crazy weather. And we don't want to talk too much about her, but Taylor Swift kind of controlled headlines this past year.
Oh, yeah, she literally dominated.
Taylor and Donald Trump probably the top two.
And it's showing. It's showing, even with the Kansas City team.
Yeah, Trump was the first former president to be indicted for a crime. I mean, that's a worldly story right there. The Hollywood writers' strike, and Hollywood.
Total mistake.
You had a lot to do with fixing that thing.
Well, real quick, while we're on Taylor, do you think she's been a detriment to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I don't think she's trying to intentionally do it. It's just her status.
I think she likes to draw. I think she likes to draw. It helps her concerts.
She already had it, though, before she dated Kelsey.
I'm not a big fan. I don't think she's all that.
But it doesn't matter. Hollywood, it doesn't matter if you're a fan. It's just that her status was already there. This was more, icing on the cake, so to speak.
The whole mommy thing and holding the kid.
I mean, Kelsey's a good ball player.
It's a distraction.
Does he need to be treated like he's Tom Brady? Hell no. I mean,
you see his game lately?
Yeah, it's horrible.
He dropped the ball.
You see that big hickey on his neck? She might be sucking his soul out of him a bit. Just saying.
All I know is Coach has got a problem with it. And he sat Mahomes down and Kelsey. Because they're about ready to be eliminated. Okay?
But that's why, like Belichick, he didn't like any of that shit. Like, Randy Moss was one and done. He didn't like all that, you know what I'm saying, high-profile bullshit affecting the team.
They still talk about it today in Dallas.
And it's not their fault. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're celebrities. They're real people. They can have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? They make a fine couple. But at the end of the day, if it affects the team, I could see where they'd have a problem with it. And it's showing because they're 9-6. They're not looking like the Kansas City Chiefs we know.
Well, I don't know if that's Taylor Swift, though. I think the distraction is a problem. There's no question about it. Anytime you're watching a pro game and you're worried about who's winning and losing the game and watching the game for the game, and all of a sudden every fucking other play they're veering to the press box or in the luxury suite.
I was just going to say that.
Taylor's on her feet clapping her hands. I'll go Kelsey.
Why?
Where's my who give a fuck drop? Because that's what I want to hit.
It's a distraction. You don't think
who gives a fuck?
Detroit guys are digging in some grits. He ain't showing that shit.
I mean, it's all good. Look, it's great for the NFL. If anything, they should have said, well, Taylor, you've been such a big part of the NFL this year. Why not be the halftime show?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's not for football.
It's going to be, what is it? Is it Nelly this year? Who's doing the halftime show? Usher, and then C. Rebel singing backup, correct?
Oh, God.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm understanding. Shout out to the world's greatest lead singer. I know, Cheech, you're going to laugh at that one. But and the last thing here on the worldly news, guys, this was the big thing. COVID-19 no longer considered a global health emergency. So we had this really bad run, and let's hope it doesn't ever come back. I know this RSV, whatever the shit's out there right now, but they actually dropped the whole tag of COVID-19 no longer being a global health emergency. So, it's we're kind of back to normal, guys, again. So this was a big year to say, okay, people are on planes, traveling more than ever sees airports, man. It was just like crazy.
I got like 3 or 4 people I know got it.
Yeah.
COVID.
The COVID or okay.
COVID.
Yeah.
One's got the she's like, no, I tested. One's like, I'm in bed. I said, you got the shot though, didn't you? And she's like, she went around a big family function, and bam, she got hit with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still out there, but
Yeah.
we're
Talking airports, so like we went during COVID in September for my birthday with the boys, and
Yeah.
it was dead. We had to wear masks by the pool and stuff like that. And then, flash forward, you still have people wearing masks and being safe, and that's fine. To each their own, right?
Yeah.
But 3 years, man, we dealt with that and the repercussions of that, and you see the fallout. A lot of businesses, you drive by a lot of small businesses closed.
It's sad.
Yeah, you notice that, don't you, bro?
Yeah,
It's
like
a
everything,
lot.
it had an everlasting effect.
Well, see, now
unfortunately.
you can have it and call the doctor, and he can give you a pill within 3 days.
And you can actually call doctors on the phone. They have this new company that you pay a fee instead of, like, say, if you went to the emergency room, you're thinking I should go to the emergency room. My wife mentioned this to me. She actually used the system because if you go to like an emergency room, it's like $150 copay. I mean, that's at least my insurance, $150 to go to an actual emergency room. With this thing, you pay $25 and they give you to a real doctor. You can, look him up, his bio, whatever, make sure he's a legit doctor, and they'll put you in touch with the local doctor. So if you had questions or concerns, instead of taking a trip to the hospital, save money, but you can also have this company that's allowing you to actually talk to real doctors. If they feel it's necessary, well, then maybe that's the next move you make. So, again, technology advancements and where we're at, all that shit's out there now.
For sure. Isn't it like Teladoc or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I dialed the wrong number, though. I mean, I was talking to a girl who said she was a doctor. She's like, do you want to play doctor? I'm like, yes.
Put your hand here.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Green Thumb.